my goodness. Is it Monday already? Welcome to Mic Drop Monday. And you know what? This is an exciting episode because we go deep on a very important subject. Can you actually heal in the same environment that broke you? Now, I got some things that I want to say, but I'm going to wait until our featured speakers actually dive into this subject and get some clarity, motivation, and inspiration. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm thinking since it's Monday, right about now.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on another episode of Mic Drop Mondays. My name is Jennifer Tolliver. I'm your host for this segment. So, all right, let's talk about it. You can't really heal in the same environment that broke you, or that's breaking you, or that's causing you harm. And, I know that's something that we say, but I want you to really, understand that and hear it. You cannot heal where your wounds are constantly being reopened. I had to learn this the hard way. I did some time, man. I did a bit. I did some time in some places that weren't good for me. I stayed loyal to environments that kept me small. I stayed in relationships that kept me doubting myself on purpose. It's to the point, some situation I was in, it's like I can go outside and say, look, the sky is blue. And they can come back and say, no, it's not, it's purple. What are you talking about? And then they'll even get all their friends to say, yeah, the sky is purple. Are you crazy? I can't believe you just said the sky is blue. So gaslighting situations like that will have you doubting yourself are extremely dangerous because you lose a lot of who you are. And those relationships and mindsets are so harmful and detrimental to me that it took, almost as long as I was in the relationship to heal myself from the mindset, that got me there in the first place. But these types of relationships will tell you that, survival is just enough. These environments will have you thinking that whatever the situation is that the people around you are in is normal, regardless of your upbringing, regardless of how you were raised. Like, the environment that you're in can shape the trajectory of your entire life. So, but being in survival mode and surviving is not, the same thing as living. So don't let anybody make you feel that way or make you feel that just getting by is normal and, not being happy is normal. And when you're in an environment that's full of chaos, criticism, competition, just toxicity, it's like you can't even think straight. Your nervous system never gets a chance to breathe. You can't strategize effectively, let alone raise your children or be the best wife you can be or the best person you can be if your brain can't even think. It's like you can't even have a good dream, You can't hear the sound of your own spirit, of your own soul. How can you hone in on your intuition if your body is just so out of whack and your mind isn't minding, it's not doing what it's supposed to do because it can't. But healing, demands a whole new atmosphere. And that's one that honors your peace and nurtures your growth, one that actually cares about you growing. Not the crab in a barrel situation. You need to be in an environment that respects your journey. So, I had to leave some familiar places to find my healing spaces, and it hurt. It was the hardest thing that I've ever done because of the effects of, mental manipulation and abuse. And you've been, in environments where your mind has been so, warped in a sense that you can't even think straight. So it's hard to even make a plan to get out of there. And sometimes you're in an abusive situation, where you're in danger, or you feel that you don't have the funds to go anywhere and you're trapped financially. So yeah, it's not something that was easy, but sometimes walking away can feel like you're losing everything. That's how difficult it can be. But staying in that situation costs you yourself. It costs you your entire identity. And it can cost you your children's identity as well if they're in the same toxic environment as you are. And it costs you any contribution that the healthy version of you would have made to society. And if we stop to realize that and think about these things, we'll stop negotiating our peace just to be accepted, just to survive, just to feel settled enough to go to sleep, at night. But if you're in a room, in a space that makes you question your worth, if the people around you make your healing feel like it's an inconvenience to them, if they're not supportive of it, if they're like scoffing at you and looking at you crazy in 2025, like while you're trying to heal, that's crazy. It's not the right environment. If you have to shrink yourself, suppress yourself, or silence what your truth is just to fit in this day and age, like if you're in a space where you have to walk on eggshells and like you can't even breathe without worrying about making somebody mad, that is not your room. That's not your space to be in. That architecture building was not designed for your energy. And hear me clearly, there is no shame in choosing yourself. None. God chose you, right? Why wouldn't you choose you? There's no guilt in choosing to have peace over familiarity if what's familiar to you is toxic. Because healing is not just about you. It's about every generation after you. Like your children. It's even about the generations before you. Because they're connected to your DNA as well. So you have your whole life to live. You have to live your life. The life that you're supposed to live. Not the life that's comfortable to you just because it's familiar, but you're not happy and it hurts and it's hard and your loved ones have been pushed away from you and you know it's not right. And deep down in your spirit, you know that there's something better for you. God would not have... You think this is God's best for you? You think that that's what, when God created you, the same God that you praise and that you love, you think that he created you and put you in this spot and say, yeah, that's what I want for you. No. Because if God was an abuser or the toxic person you're with, then yes. But no, that's not true. That this is not the life that was designed for you if it's not the life that was designed for you. And you know what that is. And you can love people and you can honor your past and you can forgive and still choose to heal somewhere else. You don't have to burn the bridge, but baby, you better cross it. Get to the other side. And if it burns, it burns. All right. So if this message spoke to you today, if you're ready to step out of survival mode and start building a legacy of healing for you and your family, then you're exactly the kind of woman Raising Kings was created for. And I'm Jennifer Tolliver, founder of Raising Kings, which is a platform dedicated to empowering African American single mothers raising sons to be confident, emotionally intelligent, and resilient leaders. Through our podcasts, our master classes, and our movement, we're not just talking about breaking generational cycles, we're doing it. You can connect with me on Instagram at raisingkings_, or visit us on the web, raisingkings.live. And there you can access all of our free resources, upcoming courses, and other ways that you guys can lock in and go ahead and rebuild your legacy. So you are not alone on this journey, not at all. And you're not stuck. You were born to raise kings. You were born to live your life abundantly and to fulfill it and to be happy. And don't let anyone or any environment or any situation make you feel that you're stuck there and that you can't overcome it and get out of it. But it starts with healing your own crown first. It starts with healing. So let's build something our ancestors will be proud of. Thank you guys so much. This has been another awesome topic and another awesome episode of Mic Drop Mondays. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you very much.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mic Drop Monday. I'm Latif, and this week we're speaking about the fact that you can't heal in the same environment that broke you. My take on healing in the same environment that broke you. To be realistic, sometimes you have to. You may not have the means, you may not have the finances, just up and leave. If it's relationship, even if it's job-wise, you can't just, everyone can. I've definitely done it. You're not always going to be in a situation where you can up and quit and just say, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to let things go their way. I can't do this anymore. So when I think of healing and the same environment that broke you, this is where, if you're the type of person that likes challenges, this is where, when you reach this point in your life, where this is going to be the biggest challenge of your life, but you can do it and it's very possible. When I think of healing in the same environment that broke me, it doesn't mean physically moving. It's my mental environment. Because any situation that I find myself in, I had to think of it before I even got into that situation. So even if it's an addiction, so if I want to get out of this environment that broke me or is breaking me, I have to change the way I think. I mean, it's simple, but at the same time, if you're in that situation, it can be a challenge. Even speaking relationships, you cannot always just up and go your separate ways. You know, bills, children, you may like where you live at. It's so many things that can hinder you just up and leaving. So this is why we do the mental work. We're here healing our mental environment. I know you probably see it all over the internet, you know, about giving attention to things and, you know, you're going to bring this into your life. But in this situation, that is very true. You literally have to think each step a second before you take it. Each thought, you have to look at the thought that's about to come into your head and decide if you want that thought in your head. This is how I personally heal sometimes in very toxic environments that I have to break free from, but I may not have a way out. It's mental. It is mental. I literally will only give attention to what I allow myself to give attention to. If it's toxic behavior, I do not have to, at all. I do not have to entertain toxic behavior. No matter what the environment is, there is no, I'm not bound, tied, or handcuffed somewhere There's no way in the world that I personally would have to engage in toxic behavior. Let me give you an example. Say you are in that situation, not even relationship, it could be family, whatever. You're in that situation and you feel really stuck. You feel like, oh my God, I wake up the same day, it's the same, whatever, addictions or same arguments or whatever it is. You can, before you wake up, take a few seconds to tell yourself exactly what it is you're allowing today and exactly what you are not allowing. And as soon as you get out of the bed and you start interacting with whoever, whatever the situation is, and it can get fun because it's almost like if you know the environment isn't good, so you kind of know what's coming to you, so you know behaviors and patterns and stuff like that. So before any toxic behavior even comes to you, you've already told yourself, I'm not engaging in it. I have to heal. You're making your own environment. You're making a mental environment. And of course, once you make your mental environment, things have no choice but to all come together. So you're mentally leaving first, and then you physically leave. So, yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as making a mental map for yourself and knowing that you have these firm rules on what you will and will not engage in. That is helping you heal. And technically, you're still in the same environment, but at the same time, it's your mental environment is what sets the bar. Your mental environment. That's the environment that you are around all the time, no matter what. Awoke, sleep, walking down the street, driving in a car, flying in a plane, doesn't matter. That's your environment. That's your environment. And I just, I don't know. I think that, it's becoming such a business when it comes to therapy and, coaching and stuff like that. But, if you can't afford it, or if you just feel like, I'd rather not go that route, that's the number one thing right there. Your mental environment. It is, and the best part about it is it's all yours. It's yours. You don't even have to share that environment with anyone. So that's why I say the best way for me to heal in an environment that broke me, or just not favorable, not aligned with me, just change the way I think. Whatever thoughts I was having to get into the situation, it's clear that I want to definitely may not be opposite, but I'm gonna definitely have completely different thoughts. Because I'm a woman, I can only speak for women, so I'm sure that a lot of women will be able to catch what I'm saying. Any woman that has been, like I said, I'm saying women, I'm sure men is probably something similar, but I cannot speak about men because I am not a man. But any woman that has ever been in a relationship and the relationship isn't going right for whatever reason, whatever, and say she's in a situation where she can't get out of that relationship, right? Right when things get real crazy, something happens where that woman, something in her brain snaps and it automatically rewires or automatically tells her, okay, this is it. We're fed up. We're done. The woman is still in that relationship, but when she's done before she leaves. She doesn't just up and leave. She already started changing her environment. She already started healing. See, a smart woman doesn't heal when she leaves relationship. She's healing while she's there so that she can lighten herself, whatever it is. So she already healed. And she was right in that environment, right in that household. But she already healed. And things just came together where she was able to part ways or whatever needed to be done in that relationship. It's not a mind game. It's you controlling your own mind. God knows we have so many other things controlling our own mind. So if you're in an environment where you feel it's toxic, where you feel like you can't heal because you have to leave, no, you can heal before you leave. It's mental. I think that we overlook so much in life and we make things so complicated. We're here to learn. We're here to interact with each other. No one, as much as some of us may just want to, live life as a hermit, it's not. We're here to learn these lessons. We're here to go through it. And at the end of the day, everybody is just doing the best they can, even if we don't feel like it at the moment. Even if you know your potential is more, in that given moment, you're only doing the best you can. So to heal in an environment that broke you, it all starts mentally. It starts mentally. Look, I'm Latif. I'm the owner of Anaj Health and Beauty, and we just want you to stay inside out beautiful, okay? And heal, mentally heal. Before you think about anything else, don't panic, don't fret, just mentally heal. All right, until next time.
It's your motivational speaker, and welcome to another episode of Mic Drop Mondays. Let's get into it. So how do we grow and how do we develop, or how do we break loose of an environment that might be toxic, an environment that is not helping us, an environment we don't want to be a part of? Let me read something to you. So check this out. While no bird intentionally destroys its nest to make its young fly, some birds, like songbirds, may encourage their young to leave before they can fly to increase their chances of survival. These birds might stop feeding their chicks in the nest, lure them out of food, or even push them out in some cases. This behavior is often linked to the type of nest the bird used, with those using concealed cavities being more likely to push their young out. Now, why did I read that? Well, it fits perfectly in this scenario, okay? So let's just talk. We understand life and we understand seasons, reasons, or why people come. Everyone has a season and a reason in your life, and everyone means everyone. We have to get it out of our brain, these titles of family members: mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, niece, grandma. All these titles, we put them on a pedestal higher than ourselves. This is the only title we need. Me, I, myself, me, myself, and I. That is the greatest title that you should ever hold on a pedestal, ever. There is no other person above the title of me, you, the mirror, right? So we have to keep that in mind. We give people a pedestal because of their title. The title was given to them before you arrived. That was your mother before you understood what the word mother was. That was your grandmother. That was your sister. These titles exist before you knew your own name. Stop putting them on a pedestal. That's just what it is. That's the season and the reason they're in your life to be that person. Now that we got that covered, let's be honest. I read the passage about the birds because some people feel like their parents are pushing them out. Some people feel like when they were growing up, all they heard was, when you turn 18, I'm only taking care of you while you're in my house. All these things are similar to the bird building their nest a certain way to make the bird fly out. That's all it is. Now, your parent may be cruel and may be mean. That may be true. And they may not know that that's what they're doing, but that's what they're doing, because your parents' job, let's just get this straight, is to give you a ride. Give me a ride? Yes. Your parents gave you a ride to Earth. They gave you a ride. That's it. Once they give you that ride, they have to make sure you don't hurt yourself until you can take care of yourself. Once you can take care of yourself, they are not obligated to do anything. Now, this might not sit well with some people. This might not be the way some people think, but this is the reality of it. They gave you a ride. And last time I checked, I have no idea, the last person who I got an Uber from, what they're doing and how their life is going. And they don't check on me and they don't care about me. I don't even remember who they are. Now, the title of parent just changes that Uber driver, of course. But eventually that title can't mean more than the title of me. I am me and I am in control. So When we have these seasons and we have these people who are in our lives for a reason in the season, we get confused sometimes that they're supposed to be in our life for the whole season, for the whole point of our life, and that's not true. They are there sometimes to push you. So sometimes if you come from a bad, a disoriented, or a toxic environment, that is there to teach you something. That is there to teach you that this is how people can be. That is there to teach you that even with these titles and the pedestal you have them on, look how they talk to you, look how they treat you, look what they're willing to do. So it lets you, it humbles you as a person and gives you a real lens on humanity and the flaws of a human being, okay? That's what it does. And if you decide that you don't want to be a part of this, you don't want to be a part of this group, these characteristics, these traits that this environment has, and you want to remove yourself, the first thing the environment is going to do is challenge you. The first thing. If you open your mouth to anybody in this environment and let them know you don't like this and you don't understand, you're not going that direction, you're trying to do something else, they're going to challenge you. You're going to start meeting all kinds of challenges. Tell your mom you don't like the way she cooks something or you don't like her rule. Watch all the challenges, because once you voice your opinion to the opposition of what's in front of you, it is now going to challenge how serious you are about your opposition. So what does that mean? That means that the environment is helping you, because the only reason you have the desire to get out of it, the only reason you have the desire to even think and say, I don't really like the way this is flowing, I don't really want to be like this, is because yourself, everything exists in one time. So your future self already knows this is not conducive to who you are. So you're getting a niche now because of where you're going in life. This does not fit that. So something is telling you now, hey, it might be time to make this change, because later down the road, we're going to be here, and the only way to get here, we got to get out of here. So you're getting a niche from your future self that this ain't really my path. Now, the challenges start to show up to make sure you know it's not your path. What do I mean? I mean, the moment that you realize you don't want to be there, if you don't leave, if you don't make the necessary change, these things are going to bombard you until you do. Why? Lessons in life are perpetual. Lessons are perpetual. You get put in a situation, something happens to create a thought. That thought is designed to make you shift direction and go somewhere else. If you have that thought, you have that aha moment, and you do not shift, that thing will get 10 times worse until you get the message and make the change. So it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, because the first sign was supposed to teach you to shift. You didn't shift. It gets worse. It gets worse. Your mom gets worse. Your family member gets worse. The environment gets worse. Something else happens. Something else happens. And you just keep wanting to know, why does this keep happening? Leave, change, shift, move to the next season in your life where a group of people are there for that season and for different reasons to help you elevate on that level. And then when that runs its course and that time has passed, shift again. You have to listen. See, time is not real. Let's just say that again. Time is not real. We just live and see time in a chronological way so that our brain can comprehend it. But the truth of the reality is there's a whole nother dimension around us. Everything is happening at once. That's why you have visions of your future. That's why you have desires that you're supposed to be doing, because you're already doing it. It already exists. That you already lived that out. You just haven't caught up to it in what we call time to let it play out and believe it. But it's there. That's why the desire exists. Your future self is talking to your current self, and it's trying to shift and make you do things. And when you don't listen, when you have a bad environment or a bad situation, it will become perpetual. It will get worse because it's trying to push you out of the nest. It's trying to make you change. And the more you insist on staying in that season and trying to continue to be there, it will get worse. It will get worse. It's very simple. See, the thing about life is the lessons and everything about life is so simple that us as a complex creature, us with the ability to think the way we do, we make it complex. Because it's so simple, we refuse to comprehend that it's that simple. And because it's that simple, it becomes so difficult and hard to accomplish because we refuse to believe it's that simple and stay on that path and just do A, B, C, D, and just keep going. We get sidetracked and we get pulled over here. We let our emotions take over. We let people come in for a season and convince us of something that might not even have been true. We have all these outside forces when the only thing we need to put on this pedestal is me, myself, and I. You would not allow yourself to stay in a toxic environment when you respect yourself. You would not allow a person to talk down to you day after day, after month, after year if you respect yourself. So get out of these environments, wake up, take the lesson in, listen to it, feel it, and shift. Stop taking it personal. The environment is there to push you. There's some people who will never get an itch to leave that environment. They are embedded in that environment. They play a role to help people who are not supposed to be there get out. That's their job, to annoy. That's their job, to pester. That's their job, to come around. If somebody enters them, their job is to make them leave. Or show them that that's what they need to be too. They're part of that too. But however the case goes, you get a niche that you shouldn't be there. You get a niche, you're uncomfortable, you need to leave. You need to listen to that niche. The sooner you listen, the less pain. The longer you take to listen, the worse it'll get, the worse the story will get, the harder it will be to get out. Listen to your niches early and life will start to seem a little smoother. You're never gonna not get a bump in the road, because the bump in the road is what triggers the thought in your brain that it's a new season. The bump in the road is what's letting you know that it's time to make a change. And sometimes that bump in the road could be the people in your environment. You need to change people and change environments. Sometimes that bump in the road could be something going on at your job. You need to change. Sometimes the bump in the road could be in your house. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be your own self, your thoughts. You might be thinking wrong all the time. You need to shift create a new habit of thinking, a new pattern of thinking. But any way you slice it, a bad environment is there to push the person who's not supposed to be there out. So when the bird builds the nest and he's ready for the bird to start flying, they start destroying the nest. They stop feeding the bird. They start doing little things to make that bird realize, I'm gonna have to go figure this out. I'm gonna have to go get it. And sometimes our parents, our family members destroy our nest, but don't know how to articulate to us that they're trying to help us fly on our own. Until the next episode, remember, take care of yourself. I hope you heard something. I hope you learned something. Let's go.
Hello, Mic Drop Monday family. This is Aloy Unique here again to bring forth some motivation and inspiration. And today's Mic Drop Monday message is, you can't heal in the same environment that broke you. You cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. Understand that. This one right here is not just a message, it's a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call, people. Understand that this is facts. You cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. And understand that that's more than a quote. It's a survival code. It's a soul level truth. Because the reality is this. If the same poison surrounds you, don't expect a different kind of healing. If the same poison surrounds you, don't expect a different kind of healing, people. And today, I'm pulling from my own trenches. Not for sympathy, but for strategy. Not for sympathy, but for strategy, people. So let's jump into this. The first part to understanding the healing process and understanding that you cannot heal in the same environment that broke you is recognizing the cycle. You must first recognize the cycle. And let's be honest, some of us keep trying to patch our wounds in places that keep cutting us. We stay loyal to chaos because it's familiar. We downplay dysfunction just to feel accepted. We tell ourselves maybe it'll get better while it's tearing us apart. I used to think I was strong because I can endure and because I could endure anything. But strength isn't just about what you can endure. It's about what you have the courage to walk away from. And understand that healing starts with honesty. Healing starts with honesty. And the first truth is admitting that you were in a place that was hurting you. That where you are is hurting you. Understand that toxic environments aren't just places, they're patterns. And they can be people who speak doubt over your destiny, places where your growth is stunted, patterns of survival that have become your normal. But hear me clear, normal doesn't mean necessary. Some of us need to unlearn the environments we've called home. And this is the facts, y'all. You cannot heal in the same place that broke you. You must make a change, and change is abroad. Change is necessary. If you do the same thing and are looking for a change to come, that is called insanity. You must understand that you have to change the environment. You have to recognize the cycles, and you have to stop repeating them. The next part to it is to break free. Break free and understand that breaking free is always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to choose you without apology. And understand, even with myself, I had to step back from people I loved. I had to walk away from spaces I built my identity in. Because the truth is, you cannot heal around what keeps reopening the wound. You cannot heal around what keeps reopening your wounds, people. And I'm not talking about getting or being bitter. I'm talking about being better and getting better. And I'm going to say that one more time. We're not talking about being bitter or getting bitter. We're talking about being better and getting better. Understand that God can't elevate you if you stay connected to what's anchoring you in pain. You cannot be elevated if you stay connected to what's anchoring you to pain, people. Even Jesus had to separate himself from the crowd to go higher. Even Jesus had to do it. So who are you? What makes you any different? And scripture says in 2 Corinthians 6 and 17, come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord. Some of y'all are trying to be whole in environments designed to keep you broken. You can't pour fresh oil into a toxic container. You've got to step out, even if it hurts. You've got to step out. It is time to rise. Like I said before, it is time to step out and rise. It is time to soar. And as you step out, you enter into your full healing journey. Your full healing journey. And understand that healing isn't pretty. That's right, healing isn't always pretty. It's messy. It's lonely. It's uncomfortable. But understand that it is well worth it. And for me, when I finally broke away, I found something I never knew I needed, which was peace. Not perfection, not popularity, but peace. And peace is priceless. I pursue ease and comfort every single day. I have that peace that the Lord talks about that surpasses all understanding. Because I've healed. And I've healed from the inside out. Healing means learning to breathe again without tension. It means reclaiming your voice, rebuilding your worth, and rediscovering who God says you are, not who they tried to convince you to be. Oh yes, it's rediscovering who the Lord made you to be, who God says that you are in his own image, not with people, anybody around you trying to convince you of who you are. And here's the thing, Healing will cost you comfort. Healing will cost you comfort, but it will return to you freedom, purpose, and clarity. Oh my Lord, I'm going to say that one more time for you. Healing will cost you comfort, but it will return to you freedom, purpose, and clarity. And Romans 12:2 says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing means removing. Healing requires repositioning. You cannot stay in the storm and expect sunshine. You cannot stay in the storm and expect sunshine, people. So I want you to come forth right now. I want you to have this call to action, and I want you to reevaluate yourself. Go check that man in the mirror. Ask him to make a change. So what's the real mic drop? You are not stuck. You are not crazy. You're just in a place that's no longer aligned with who you are becoming. It is time to shift. It is time to step out of survival mode and into revival mode. Let's go. Let's let go and let's go. Let go of what's familiar so you can grow into what's fruitful. And if nobody told you, you deserve to heal. Not halfway, not with conditions, but fully, freely, and faithfully. Fully, freely, and faithfully, you deserve to heal. You cannot heal in the same environment that broke you, but once you break free, you become the evidence that healing is possible for others to see. Y'all, understand, I've been through that. I've been through the fire, the streets, trauma, single motherhood, betrayal, loss, and rejection. But I turned every trench into a testimony. I healed, and I wanted to heal so that I could be great. From the inside out, I didn't want to pretend anymore. And I advise you to do the same. And this is where my passion came from. This is power, and this is healing. This healing message is rooted in that power, in that passion that I have brought forth to be able to help somebody else so that they don't make the same mistakes that I did. Understand, again, I am a little unique, and I represent Real Struggle Shift Motivation, y'all. It's not just a brand, it is a movement built on the belief that struggle is not your ending, it's your evidence. That your pain has a purpose, and that your story is strength once you surrender it to God. Y'all, drop that and get dark with the Lord to know that the struggle is your strength. Get G'd up with Him. Gain that confidence that you need in order to proceed and succeed on yet in this battlefield of life. And as always, y'all can follow me on all streaming platforms under Allure Unique or Real Struggle Strength. You can check out my e-learning courses through the platform called The Great Discovery /Allure. You can contact me if you would like to do some one-on-one coaching, spiritual coaching, mentoring, just have a conversation, or even if you want me to come out and do some speaking at an engagement for you, or even some musical performances, because I do that as well. You can contact me at allureuniquestyles@gmail.com, or you can check out allureuniquestyles.com, which will soon be realstruggleshrimp.com. But allureuniquestyles@gmail.com or allureuniquestyles.com. You can also check out my testimonial books, Real Struggle Shrimp Part 1 and Part 2 on all reading streaming platforms. Again, I do have motivational music on all music streaming platforms under Allure Unique. And again, you can follow me on all social sites under Allure Unique, Real Struggle Shrimp. Y'all, this is Real Struggle Shrimp Motivation, y'all. Drop that link and talk with the Lord again. Get you that. I love y'all. Y'all step out and rise. Understand that you cannot heal in the same place that hurt you.
That was deep. I hope that many of you took some of the advice that our featured speakers gave. I definitely want to thank Jennifer. I want to thank Chris. I want to thank Alor. I want to thank Latif for chiming in on this very important subject. However, my thoughts are, and this is just me speaking out loud, is that it's kind of hard to heal in the same environment that broke you. Here's the reality of it, okay? We're never really broken. That's what I'll be talking about in Fractured Bond. It's just a matter of time to get back to your greatness, to your great self. And I think that sometimes if you stay in the same environment where people, places, or things try to break you, that it's going to take just that much longer for you to heal. You've gotten through everything in this life. You'll continue to get through everything in this life. However, time is the important factor. So the way that I see it is, no, you can't heal in the same environment. It's just going to take too long. Find a way out. Always find a way out. Because at the end of the day, life is really like Pac-Man. There's always a way out. As long as you put your mind to it and you think about it, and most importantly, you follow that universal rule and you take action. With that being said, thank you for joining us right here on Mic Drop Monday. I'm your host, Minister Robinson. The reason why we all do this. Love you guys.